Well, it's finally happened. Wave 5 of the Booster Course Pass is now out. And I enjoyed every single second of it. Well, except for this course. I hate it. I hate it a lot. But I'll get into my in-depth opinions on Wave 5 when I actually get to my Wave 5 ranking video. But now, there is only one wave left. Man, time flies when you least expect it. And while I definitely will be using the next few months to enjoy playing Wave 5, these next months will also be pretty painful because I just want to know what tracks are going to be in Wave 6. So why don't I try to figure that out? It might be a bit early, but I think it's better now than later to try to predict the courses that I think will come in Wave 6. Hey guys, my name is Tick, and today I'm going to be predicting everything in Wave 6 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, including the 8 courses, the last 2 characters, and when I think the wave is going to release. If you guys are ready for this, then buckle up and strap yourselves in because it's going to be a wild ride as I predict the last wave of the Booster Course Pass. The final one. So usually when making these prediction videos, I have something what I call the Big 3. The Big 3 being the 3 major leaks from the Booster Course Pass that I've been using as reference for my predictions, specifically the Prefix leak, the Music leak, and the Banner leak. Just to summarize, the Prefix leak allowed us to know how many courses each game would be represented by, as well as their original placement in the Booster Course Pass. The Banner leak was basically an alternate version of the key artwork that had screenshots for future courses in it, and the Music leak had short prefetches for music tracks of future courses. However, we pretty much reached the end of an era for 2 of those leaks, those being the Banner leak and the Music leak. And the reason it's the end of the era for those leaks is because every track that was originally leaked from them is now officially in the Booster Course Pass, which pretty much only leaves us with the Prefix leak now. Now, using the Prefix leak wasn't exactly steady, primarily ever since Wave 3 showed that the order in the Prefix leak is not exactly what the final product is going to look like, primarily since Maple Treeway replaced a GCN track. At first I thought it would just be as easy as a GCN track getting pushed back every wave, and then Moonview Highway's inclusion in Wave 5 threw everyone, including myself, off for a loop. Its inclusion ended up causing us to ask a lot of questions. Where did Moonview Highway come from? What does it mean for Wave 6? What happened to that SNES track that was supposed to be in Wave 5? Some people think that Moonview Highway replaced a GCN track like Mushroom Bridge, while others thought that Moonview Highway was the Wii track in the Spiny Cup according to the Prefix leak, meaning that there was no Wii Rainbow Road. However, now that Wave 5 is actually out, we do have a clear answer to this question now. You see, every course in the Booster Course Pass has an internal file name labeled CNSW followed by 2 numbers. The first number represents the wave that the course is in, and the second number represents the order in that wave. However, the file names don't actually correspond to their final position in the Booster Course Pass, but rather they correlate with their originally intended position as shown by the Prefix leak. For example, even though Maple Treeway is the final track in the Rock Cup, its internal file name shows that it was originally going to be the second track of the Acorn Cup, which matches with the Prefix leak having a Wii track in that exact slot. So what does that mean with Moonview Highway? Well, Moonview Highway's internal file name is CNSW63, meaning that it was supposed to be the 3rd track in the Acorn Cup. But if we look at the Prefix leak, then we would see that that slot actually doesn't have a prefix. So what happened? Was Tor gonna get another non-city Nitro that was just scrapped at some point? Or was that simply just a placeholder or undecided slot? It's not really clear, but it doesn't really matter anyway because Moonview Highway took that slot over. So how will we know what courses are gonna be in Wave 6? Well, since there are 8 file names that still have yet to be used, if we correspond them to the prefixes in their slots, then we can infer that Wave 6 will have 2 Tor City tracks, 2 non-city Tor Nitros, 2 tracks from Mario Kart Double Dash, 1 track from Super Mario Kart, and 1 track from Mario Kart Wii. So, now that we got that little mystery out of the way, let's actually predict these courses. Hey everybody, it's Tick here from the future. Before we continue with this video, I just want to quickly show you guys something. You see this? You want to know what this is? This is the percentage of you guys that aren't subscribed to my channel. I know, right? That number is way too high. You know how you guys can fix that? Well, let me show you. If you just put your hand on your mouse, put your finger on the scroll wheel, and then scroll down, you'll see this red subscribe button. Ooh. And then if you click on the subscribe button, you'll be subscribed to my channel. Ah. And if you click on that bell icon right next to it, you'll be notified of whenever I post new videos. Oh my god! Why didn't I think of doing that before? So yeah, you guys should definitely consider going down there and hitting that subscribe button, as it would help me a lot. So, have you subscribed yet? Well, if you've already done that, then let's get back into the video. If you've seen my Wave 5 prediction video, then you pretty much know how this is gonna go. First, I'm gonna predict the courses themselves, and then I'll predict the order that I think they'll be in their cups. So starting with the 2 tour city tracks, we know for sure that the first one is going to be Rome Avanti. Rome Avanti is currently the latest city track added to Mario Kart Tour, and it's pretty good. It's set at nighttime and you go through places like the city and this Colosseum and all that, and I think it's going to be a good city when it comes to the Booster Course Pass. Now, Rome Avanti is currently the only city track that is not in the pass yet, but we do know that there will be one more coming to Tour in the future. In Tour's files, there are object labels for a course internally labeled Mob MD. Mob MD has gaps big enough to suit 3 tracks, which fits with every other city track coming with 3 variants. And for the longest time, everyone has been thinking that MD is short for Madrid, as in Madrid, Spain, so everyone's thinking that we're gonna get some kind of city track based on Madrid. So I'm gonna go with that and say that the final city track added to Tour and the Booster Course Pass will be a Madrid course. Now, what about the 2 non-city Tour tracks? Well, one of them is going to be Piranha Plant Cove. Piranha Plant Cove is pretty unique from the other non-city nitros in the fact that it has 3 distinct routes, much like the city courses. Honestly, I'm surprised that this course didn't come with PD Piranha, whether it's moving this course up to Wave 5 or delaying PD back to Wave 6. But, whatever. I mean, I'm glad I can play as PD now, but the fact that he didn't come with his own track, that's kinda sad. But anyway, the other course that is gonna come is Piranha Plant Pipeline. Okay, who named this track? Was Piranha Plant Cove not enough? Did Tour really need to have 2 Piranha Plant tracks? Like, Piranha Plant Pipeline? What kind of a name is that? And if you're British, that's totally not going to be confusing with Piranha Plant Pipeway. Yeah, no. Piranha Plant Pipeway from 7 is totally different from Piranha Plant Pipeline from Tour. And when Piranha Plant Cove and Pipeline come to the Booster Course Pass, that means we're going to have 3 Piranha Plant tracks in the game. Piranha Plant is going to have more tracks in 8 Deluxe than Waluigi. Oh my god, it's Smash Ultimate all over again. And Piranha Plant's not even a character in this game, what the heck? Anyway, as for the course itself, it's fine, I guess. Visually, it looks like Tour's equivalent to a Mario circuit, but I guess the layout is somewhat interesting. You go through different colored pipes, there's a split path where you can choose which pipe you want to go to, each with different things. There are these spider webs that can get in the way. The course is supposedly based on the scrap Dokkan course from Mario Kart DS. I mean, it's fine at best, but also it seems really shallow as a course. If they want to improve it in 8 Deluxe, then maybe have all the pipe sections be anti-gravity so that you can drive on any side that you want. But yeah, Piranha Plant Cove and Pipeline are the 2 non-city nitros coming to Wave 6. Okay, seriously, 2 Piranha Plant courses in one wave? Anyway, what about the other retros? Well, the SNES track is undoubtedly Bowser Castle 3, and I think that for a multitude of reasons. Number 1, it's basically the only good SNES remake in Tour, because it's the only SNES remake to have elevation changes and angled sections, which would be perfect to have in anti-gravity. And apart from that, the course has other major changes made to it, such as being able to drive on these walls and the bone piranha plants at the end. And number 2, we don't have any retro Bowser castles in the game yet. The closest we have is Neo Bowser City, but that's not a castle, you know? By having SNES Bowser Castle 3 in Wave 6, that would fill in the check marks of having A, a good SNES remake, and B, a retro Bowser Castle. Now, I think you guys saw this coming from a mile, but the Wii track is undoubtedly Wii Rainbow Road. I mean, come on, look. It's Wii Rainbow Road. It's gotta be. I mean, this course was remade in Tour for a reason because they know just how popular it is from Wii fans and that they want to put it in the Booster Course Pass. This course has the perfect sense of challenge, intense layout, intricate turns. Imagine being able to relive the terrors of falling off of this course, now in HD. It is the perfect Rainbow Road to end off the Booster Course Pass and the entire game. We just gotta see it happen. On a side note though, if Wii Rainbow Road does return, it better not be a section track like Tour did. Although, given that Tour is, well, Tour, I don't think we need to worry about that. Now, one of the GCN tracks that I'm gonna put is Dino Dino Jungle. Dino Dino Jungle takes you through a pretty interesting journey. First, you gotta avoid these stomping dinosaur feet, then you gotta cross these split narrow bridges without falling off, then you go through this temple tunnel thing with a bunch of geysers, and then you glide past the dinosaur's head, and then you do it all over again. Given how difficult this track can be, especially when you consider the fact that it was in the Special Cup in Double Dash, I think it makes sense to put it here in the final wave of the DLC. Now for the other Double Dash track, Okay, here's the thing. Aside from Dino Dino Jungle, the only other GCN tracks that are in Tour that are not in the Booster Course Pass yet are Mushroom Bridge and DK Mountain. However, although both of them are fan favorites from the Double Dash community, I personally don't want either of them in the Booster Course Pass. We just got Moonview Highway in Wave 5, so do we really need Mushroom Bridge, which is definitely a more shallow and simple traffic course? Like, yeah, Mushroom Bridge has some distinct things, like being able to drive on the bridge, and these Wiggler buses, and these mushroom cars that give you free mushrooms, but I don't think those really do anything to fix the issue of having too many redundant traffic courses, especially since it's way too similar in name and concept to Shroom Ridge. Meanwhile, DK Mountain, while having some unique things about it, is ultimately just way too similar to DK Summit from Wave 4. Both of them are DK tracks where you start by going in a barrel cannon, launching yourself up the top of the mountain, and then going down the mountain with all these twists and turns and ramps and bumps in between. With DK Summit being the better course of the two, I don't think it's really necessary to see DK Mountain. DK Mountain also has a very similar theme to Dino Dino Jungle since they both have jungle elements in them. Not to mention, they both share the exact same music. I know Waluigi Pinball shares the same music as Wario Stadium, but to be fair, Wario Stadium was in the base game. Meanwhile, DK Mountain and Dino Dino Jungle would be two tracks that are in the DLC in the exact same waves, so having two tracks in the same wave sharing the same song doesn't really sound ideal, especially considering just how anticlimactic that would make the final wave. And with Datamine suggesting that Tour is probably going to be dying down this year, I don't think we're seeing any more GCN tracks coming to Mario Kart Tour. So, what am I gonna do? Well, you know how Moonview Highway replaced a blank slot in the previous leak? Why don't we just do that again, but with this GCN slot? I know it might sound a bit extreme, especially since this blank spot probably wasn't an actual track, but given the limited options with GCN tracks, I think it would be better to ultimately replace it. So what will I replace it with? The track that I'm going to replace the GCN track with is Wee Daisy Circuit. Okay, I know what you guys are thinking. Whoa, Tick, you're putting some generic circuit track in the final wave of the DLC? What the heck is wrong with you, man? And I can kind of see where you guys are coming from, especially since the DLC already had 3 circuit tracks before this, and Daisy just got a track in Wave 5. But here's the thing, Daisy Circuit is probably the best circuit track in the entire series, just because of its unique environment, its calm music, and the overall more interesting layout than your typical circuit track. And not to mention it is in Tour, so it does have a slight chance of coming, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this very bold move and say that this GCN track is going to be replaced by Wee Daisy Circuit. Well, I've predicted the 8 tracks, so now let's actually put them in the cups in an order that I think makes the most sense. So for the Acorn Cup, the first track is going to be Rome Avanti. I don't really have a specific reason as to putting it here. Since we don't have the Madrid course yet, I can't really compare the two in terms of difficulties, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say Rome Avanti takes a spot. But if for some reason the Madrid course is simpler in layout and difficulty than Rome Avanti, then Rome Avanti might take the spot in the Spiny Cup instead. But anyway, the second track is going to be Wee Daisy Circuit. Even though it was in the Star Cup in Wii, Daisy Circuit is also, well, a circuit, so it's not exactly difficult. And since previous waves have this trend where the second course of the wave tends to be the most simple one, and with Daisy Circuit being the most simple course in my predictions, I think it'll best fit as the second course. The third track is going to be SNES Bowser Castle 3. It's a bit more ambitious. Even though it's a SNES remake, it's not really easy, but it's also not exactly the hardest thing out there, despite being a Bowser Castle course, so it goes right here. And then the fourth track is going to be Piranha Plant Cove. Being a course with a very distinct theme, music, as well as having a route switching like the cities do, I think it makes sense to see Piranha Plant Cove end off a cup, in this case being the Acorn Cup. Now as for the Spiny Cup, the first track is going to be the Madrid course, and the second track is going to be Piranha Plant Pipeline. Now towards non-city nitros not being the last course of a cup doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. I mean, you can see Merry Mountain is clearly the third course of the Moon Cup, so saying that Piranha Plant Pipeline would be the second course of a cup isn't too far out of the question, especially since it is kind of on the simpler side, even with all the interesting gimmicks it has, like the half pipes, driving across this shaky green pipe, and the piranha plants, and the fuzzies. It's still kind of basic, so the second slot will have to do. The third course will be Dino Dino Jungle. I mean, this course was a special cup course in Mario Kart Double Dash, so it has a couple of hard moments, and I think it would be cool if the penultimate track of the pass was some kind of double dash representation, representing, you know, the good old days. But of course, the final track undoubtedly has to be Wii Rainbow Road. Come on, it's just gotta be. This would be the perfect track to not only end off the Booster Course Pass, but also the entire game. I mean, they ended off the first half of the pass with 3DS Rainbow Road, so they have to do the same with Wii Rainbow Road here in Wave 6, am I right? I see this track as nothing less than being the best choice to end off the entire Booster Course Pass. So those are my predictions for the courses that I think will come in Wave 6, but we're not done yet, as Wave 6 will also come with the final 2 characters. And boy, is deciding these last 2 characters not easy. Tour has a lot of distinct characters, like Nabbit, King Bomb, Hammer Bro, Monty Mole, Poochie, Dixie Kong. But the 3 names that I see get tossed around the most are Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, and Pauline. Diddy Kong because he's pretty much a series staple in the Mario games, and he's basically been snubbed from Mario Kart 8's roster this whole time. Funky Kong because and Pauline because of how relevant she's been getting in the recent Mario games, including Super Mario Odyssey, as well as a bunch of spin-offs like Mario Tennis Aces, Mario Golf Super Rush, Mario Strikers Battle League, and of course Mario Kart Tour. So, which of these 3 characters do I think will take up the last 2 spots? Well, this might be a bit of a cliched answer, but I think the last 2 slots will go to Diddy Kong and Pauline. It only makes sense. Pauline because of how much relevance she's been getting, and Diddy Kong because I feel like he belonged in the game from the very start. And besides, you can't have Funky Kong in a game without Diddy Kong, am I right? You know, there may only be 2 characters in Wave 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo tried to hide Funky in some way, shape, or form. Maybe have him as an unlockable reward if you complete all of the 150cc time trials for the DLC courses, to which he'll be unlocked as an alternate costume for Donkey Kong. That way he won't take up an additional slot. Okay, admittedly that's definitely not gonna happen, but it would be a nice way to include Funky Kong in the roster, especially since it would give people a reason to play the DLC courses time trials. I mean, if you do all the time trials for the base game courses, you get the gold wheels, so I think having a reward for the Booster Pass courses as well would be pretty cool. So that's the courses and characters, but there's still one more thing that I want to predict, and that's when I think Wave 6 will come out. And it's hard to tell. You see, starting with Wave 3, a little bit of content from that wave would be teased in a Nintendo Direct, after which the wave would be fully revealed and released much later. With Wave 3, its teaser was in a Nintendo Direct in September 2022, and then was released 2.5 months later in December. Wave 4's teaser happened in the February 2023 Nintendo Direct and was released a month later in March. And then Wave 5's teaser happened in the June Nintendo Direct, after which the wave was released 2 weeks later in July. So it's clear that the gap between the teaser and the wave release goes down and down. So I think we're gonna get a teaser for Wave 6 in a Nintendo Direct in September, and then Wave 6 will be fully revealed in about 2 weeks in October, and then I think Wave 6 will be released the week after that. But we'll have to wait until the future to know for sure. But that is pretty much it for this video. Those are my predictions for Wave 6 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, including all of the courses, the characters, and the release date. I can't wait for the day Wave 6 comes out and I see just how accurate these predictions are. Or maybe inaccurate with that Daisy Circuit prediction. But until that, I'll be binging through Wave 5, as well as getting excited for other games like Mario Wonder and the Super Mario RPG remake. But with that, that is pretty much going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. Once again, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe buttons, as it lets me know that you guys like seeing videos like this. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.